Sonic Attic asks, what was the secret message that was hidden on the cover of issue number 95 that was mentioned in the editor's note in issue number 200? I honestly don't know, and at New York Comic Con of 2010 I asked Spaz and he couldn't remember, so it will remain a mystery forever, I suppose. Dungeon Shaker asks, I'm sorry if this has been asked a trillion times, not sure how to phrase it into a question, but I was wondering about Dr. Robotnik/Eggman's current mental state. When he reasoned himself back from the brink in his cell, he seemed to be at some sort of state I can only describe as extremely focused madness. Yet the next time we saw him, it's like a whole mental breakdown had never happened. It's still the extremely focused madness, it's just you keep seeing him improving. He's gotten to the point where he's functional, and he definitely has reasonable thought, or at least understandable thought patterns, but he's still, really close to not exactly stable. It's not that he's not less insane, it's more that he's more of a stable insane, if that makes any sense. Now, Therion asks, I don't know if you can answer this yet, but with Sega revealing large plans already for Sonic's 20th anniversary, do you also have some large plans in store for our favorite blue hedgehog for his big 2-0? We have Sonic the Hedgehog number 225, we have Sonic Universe 25, we've got the Genesis thing coming up. I'd say we're planning on something big for the 20th anniversary. R Metallica 0309 asks, I've been reading through issue number 98, and I see that Gerald was an Overlander, Maria was an Overlander, and I'm pretty sure the Colonel with the blue hair was an Overlander. Does that mean Project Shadow was put into action by the Overlander government and not Station Square? This kind of goes into the territory of plans that I have that I'm not sure I can talk about yet. Let's just say that yes, it was more of Gunn's influence at the time rather than the United Federations. Knack asks, I have but one question. Ebony Hair, dead, alive, or muffinated? I like muffinated. For right now, we're just going to say limbo, because I don't want to write him off as dead unless I'm sure I have no other way of reviving the character. And, I really like taking them old characters and revitalizing them. Shadow Sage 006 asks, in Sonic 210, Amy mentioned citizens of New Mobotropolis being legionized and sent to different Dark Egg Legion chapters. My question is, do you have any certain main character citizens in mind, or were they just random civilians? They were just random civilians. Material Defender asks, going off the answer to the Q&A you recorded about if Sally and possibly other comic-only characters could undergo a super transformation in a future story, have you or any other people at Archie brainstormed what some of the comic cast might look like in this state, even if their transformation never actually happened? No, I don't think we have any official on-the-books what-if designs. If we were to take them in that direction, then we would do concept art. But right now, we don't really have the time to devote that much, thought and energy and resources into creating just fun what-ifs. We would like to. That would be a lot of fun, but it's not really practical right now. Chaos Hug asks, in Sonic the Hedgehog number 167, you confirm that Shadow's chaos control renders him mentally immune to space-time effects such as the shift in the timeline and Mobius X years later. Does that mean Shadow remembers the events of Sonic 06? Does it also mean the possible debut of a certain photo negative? No, number 167 does not confirm that. Remember that Leon Da was wearing an armband just like Miles and Mina and the rest of their family, so she remembered the time shift, and she filled in Shadow of all the events that had changed. That's how he knew how to grab Kobor and Rotor. It's all Leon Da's fault. So no, that doesn't mean he remembers any of Sonic 06, and by photo negative, I'm guessing you mean Mephiles, and there's no immediate plans for him. The Loose Cannon asks, any plans on revisiting Sonic X in Sonic Universe? I would like to, I really would, but we can't. Our hands are tied on that one. Paris asks, have you thought of a canon reason as to why Tikal's name isn't like the other traditional female echidnas? Which is to say, one name with a hyphen and a second monosyllable name passed down from the mother like Leon Da and Mary Sue. No, I haven't applied a lot of thought to that. For the non-canon answer, we'll just say Pachamako's a weirdo. And even though it's one question only for this one's real quick and easy. Also, who's older, Belle or Jacques? They're twins. Tonberry2K asks, it's been a while since I asked this last time. Ever figure out what to do with Mogul? He's content in the casino right now, with maybe a couple ideas percolating in the back, but no immediate plans for Mogul. Agent Glenn asks, as the chances of the little bugger really appearing in the comics are about nil, which might give us an idea of the following, what are your opinions on the helper character Omochao? Technically, Omochao has appeared in the comic. In See You Later Chow Part 2, towards the end, the Chow that Jules is playing around with the most is starting to look very much like Omochao. The idea was that, Jules' Chow would be Omochao. It's just we really haven't had time to look at Jules, let alone a pet of Jules, let alone Omochao. As for the character itself, as little as there is, I don't mind him. He makes as much sense as a floating ball of light or random monitors telling you what to do. Liwanut asks, working our way into Hamlin's psyche, what motivates him? Simply put, what does he want? Hamlin wants what every freedom fighter wants, and that's for everyone to be safe and to be able to live happily and carefree without Robotnik breathing down their necks. He's a little off-put that he didn't get to perform in the field like he was trained to do, like he wanted to do, and that's why he's on the council, because he wants to make a difference. He doesn't want to be on the sidelines. He doesn't want to be just a civilian. He wants to be in there making a difference and making the world a better place for his other fellow Lobians. Cryptic asks, at the end of the Iron Dominion arc I noticed something. Under your pen, and in less than 1 year's time, Lianda has been quite abused through being disintegrated, erased, and blown up not once, but twice, as in my mind the flashback story counts. Now, while I'd love to know why the hate, I can't help but find myself really wondering, why no beatdown? We loved it when Knuckles threw down with Finitivus, since he really deserved it more, but Lianda's been around so much longer and has been deserving of her own comeuppance on a personal scale even more so why has this yet to happen? Well, I just about killed her. What more comeuppance do you want? Now, I get what you're saying. Why hasn't Knuckles delivered the comeuppance? Just because the story hasn't really lended itself to it just yet. That and Lianda can't really compete on the same level as Knuckles. She's more devious, but she's physically weaker even with the cybernetics. So if we're going to have big manly Knuckles punch the lady in the face, we need her to be at least on the same physical level as Knuckles, so it seems like a fair fight. And it's not that I hate Lianda, it's just she's a bad person, and bad things happen to bad people. Blink asks, any word on what everyone's favorite feathery green ball of madness, otherwise known as Bean, has been up to? Read Treasure Team Tango, you will see exactly what he's been up to. And I think that'll fill our Bean quota for a little while.